Hello, and welcome to the Core Dog Experience, talking Ohio State Buckeyes, talking college sports, and everything in between. So if you're feeling what you're hearing, please hit that like button, and please subscribe. Help continue to grow this thing out. With that said, let's jump into this week's action with Ohio State coming off their bye week, taking on Penn State. This is a game that at the beginning of the season everybody had circled. This was going to be the top-notch matchup of the Big Ten season. Number one, Penn State, Ohio State, flip-flop whoever was supposed to be number one, but a lot of folks have Penn State at number one. Midway through the season, things ain't quite work out like that. Who would have thought we would see what's going on at Penn State? Not only 5 losses in a row, they done lost their coach. They are trying to follow the blueprint set by the Big Ten the last 2 seasons. Bring your folks back and win the Natty. That's what they were going to do. That's what everyone had planned and picked for them to do. Funny thing happened along the way. You actually got to show up to play some games, which they haven't been real successful at this year. No more James Franklin. So it's not been the year for Penn State. So this game does not have the luster we thought it was going to have when we first saw the schedule come out at the beginning of the year. But you still got to play it. You still got to play it. And teams like this, I mentioned it my last time out, these could be dangerous teams. You know, they backed up in the corner. That's when they're a wounded dog. That's when they can be the most ferocious. So, you know, how and Ryan Day tried to prepare us folks, tried to have them ready to go. Say, hey, this is going to be a tough game. Got the records out the window. They going to come in and bring everything they got. You know, and sometimes, you know, games like this can be somewhat worrisome because you never know. Young guys, you don't know what their mindset is. You see a team struggling like Penn State. Are they going to be ready to play? Did the bye week sort of take some of that edge off of them, coming off a shutout? So you thinking, are they still going to come back and have that edginess with them in this type of game with this type of opponent, given how Penn State has struggled? So you thinking, all right, like, gotta get out to a fast start and let these guys know they don't have a chance. Offensively, I think they got off to a fast start, went right down the field with 89 yards, touchdown, bam. Next possession, bam. Before you know up, Ohio State is up 10-0. But to their credit, Penn State, they kept fighting. You knew they would. They kept fighting. They did not lay down after going down 10-0. They came back, had a nice little long drive against the D. Scored against the D. First time our D, we'll get into the D, has given up that first half touchdown all season. But so kind of wondering. So maybe they did take a little bit, Penn State, just a little bit too lightly, because that was a nice little drive Penn State had put together there in the first half. Got you to wondering, but boom, right back down the field. Next thing you know, it's up 17-7 en route to a 38-14 win. But what were the folks saying about Ohio State? What's going to happen when they get challenged? What's going to happen if they got to face a little bit of adversity? And I think Ohio State faced that to a degree. That second quarter, they had the fumble. Penn State takes it in and scored. Next thing you know, 17-14 at the half. There's some of that adversity, some of that stuff. How will Ohio State respond? Penn State poked the bear. They poked the bear because everyone was going to wonder what would happen if Ohio State gets punched in the nose a little bit. Some fumble, Penn State takes it in. going up 17-14 at the half was not the way it was scripted. I'm pretty sure. Ohio State did not have plans of going up 17-14 at the half. So everyone was anxious. How's Ohio State going to respond in the second half? We saw that. They came out and just flat out dominated. They poked the bear. Everyone's going to say what would happen when Ohio State got challenged. Penn State, I don't say they challenged them, but I think they poked the bear just enough. They woke up the folks, because you seen the defense was flying around that second half and en route to, like I said, the 38-14 win. But we gonna get to the defense. We gotta start off with the offense. But I said the offense, they pretty much had their way, save for the fumble in the first half. They came out throwing the ball. Your man Julian Sand was he was on point. He was on point for the game, just stats for the game. He just continues to amaze. 20 of 23 passing, 87% clip. They showed a crazy stat. Midway through the third quarter, he had 3 incompletions and 3 touchdowns already. It was before he threw his fourth one, but I think that was just. And then, of course, he ended up with over 300 yards and the 4 TDs at the end of the day. I think it's just crazy stat. He cannot. They're already whispering his name, not as loud as some of these other Heisman folks, Fernando and Ty, but you can't ignore Julian anymore. The numbers he's putting up, that percentage, the completion percentage alone is just crazy. And they keep saying, and me too, to a degree, is like, okay, the running game. But if you could throw it like that, you just got to run just a little bit. And Ohio State, Bo Jackson broke off some couple runs in the first half, I think, which helped facilitate some of that passing game. So they did just enough in the running game to complement the passing game. This is a passing offense. The offensive line may take a little while to gel. I thought it'd be further along at this point in the running game, but we saw how they came together last year at the end of the season when Quinshawn and Trevion just exploded. So hopefully these guys will gel in the running game in a similar fashion. But right now, if you got a passing game that's just elite, because I don't think there's another, they mentioned it in the broadcast, but I don't think there's another passing team out there as elite as Ohio State's passing game. Just on a consistent basis, game by game. The receivers they have out there, Tate, Smith. We're going to talk about Jeremiah. But clear, the tight ends, just everybody. And it's just, when you're that elite and you can lean on that, why not lean on it? Lean on it till they stop it. Penn State had one of the better pass defenses in the league, and they pretty much shredded it. Jim Knowles, for all the talk about Jim Knowles knowing our offense, you thought he would have known better than the single covers Jeremiah, which he did a lot in that first half. Then in the second half, it didn't make him. I think they had 3 people on him, and Jeremiah still beat everybody deep. But it was just amazing what that offense was able to do against that pass defense. And then, of course, later on in the game, Jackson was able to break off some. And when it was all said and done, Bo had over 100 yards. So just nickel and diamond, and you're going to break some. And he broke some. So, again, you wanted to be a little more balanced throughout the course of the game. But 38-14, it's hard to complain with a 38-14 score. It just is. Of course, they had the fumble, and then the defense, they gave up the long, time-consuming drive. So give hats off to Penn State. I mean, you knew they were going to come out with some fight. Backed in the corner, they gave it all. They gave it their all. They gave it their all. And you wouldn't expect anything less from a Penn State coach team, regardless of who the coach is. And they came out and they put up a good fight in the first half. They poked the bear, and everyone got to see what would happen when you poke the bear. Ohio State got a little bit angry. And they just boom, boom, boom. I said, Julian was on point, opened up the passing game even more, coming out in the second half, and just boom, 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 man. Like 20 or 23, whatever the crazy percent was. And he wasn't dinking and dunking. That's the thing out this percentage that he's pitting up. He is throwing down the field, which everyone's been wanting him to do. He's putting it on point, down the field. These down the field throws, and he still complete them at a high clip. And of course, when you have Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, it's easy to do that. But he was on point of both receivers over 100 yards. And for all the love that Carnell's been getting over the last few games, deservedly so. Carnell's been putting on the show. Jeremiah's like sitting over there, like, y'all must have forgot. And he went out and had him a game. Had him probably there've been a lot of great catches, but this was just one of his catches that he just makes look so easy. It's, y'all know what the one I'm talking about. The catch I'm talking about, the second TD catch. I think the ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Jeremiah goes up, one-hands it, touchdown. And everyone in the stands, little man here, that's like, wow, how can you not be impressed by what this dude can do? And like they're saying, he ain't gonna win the Heisman because he just ain't gonna have the stats. But everybody knows who the best player in college is, and that is Jeremiah Smith. Like I say, y'all must have forgot. Carnell's on the other side doing this thing, but I'm part of that reason why he getting all that stuff. People, they focusing a lot on me. And you saw what happened when Penn State tried to single cover him in that first half. Jeremiah was having a day. They switched up a little bit, tried to put more people on Jeremiah, and he was still having a day. So, again, we got Carnell, Jeremiah. I ain't mad at them throwing the ball. Mix in the run when you can, but you got those. Until someone can stop them, why not just throw the ball? Throw the ball, run just enough to keep those safeties honest. Just enough to keep those safeties honest. Offense is looking good. Passing game's looking good. Show up the running game some. And hopefully the line will continue to gel. Some folks want to see Padilla in there over Tigra. How right guard. Folks want Padilla at right guard. Shabola. So hopefully that battle will make them both better going down the stretch here. So we can see how the line play continues to hopefully develop in the running game. Passing game, Penn State got pressure. But Jay Cool, as he's being called, he showed poise in the pocket. But he moves around in that pocket like he just looks so comfortable back there. He just like he got pressure. Was it with the third down and 5? Pressured, the dude pressured him. Julian made one man miss, made 2 players miss, got the first down, and then was a play or 2 later found Carnell Tate for a touchdown. Julian is smooth in the pocket. He's not your typical dual threat. I wouldn't even classify him as a dual threat. He's someone who can navigate the pocket, move around in the pocket, create space in the pocket when there is pressure. And then he throws darts. I mean, he just throws darts. For such a young player, he just has just a cool, calm, collected head on his shoulders, which again, it's hard to ignore him in the Heisman conversation. Now, defensively, they gave up some points, y'all. They gave up a red zone TD. We know, right? It don't happen. But Penn State got one when they still had Penn State. Let's say they're gonna have some fight in them. They got 2 good backs now. Let's face it, the backs are good, and we couldn't stop that sweep play. The off tackle runs, whatever Penn State was doing in that first half, we couldn't stop it for a good portion of that half, and they scored. I mean, Singleton, K-Tron Allen, those are some good backs. Penn State scored. So we gave up our first half touchdown, and then they compounded because we fumbled and they get a second touchdown in the first half. I mean, you know, we had the shot. Was that sloppy play coming off the bye? I don't know. You want to break it up however you wanted to. 14 points in the last 2 games, 7 points per game last 2 contests we were on the field. That's the way I look at it. Penn State scored, and I said they poked the bear because the defense, they came out and they just seemed like they were playing for a different bit of energy, a lot more pep in their step. Patricia was calling up a lot of pressures on the quarterback, and they made his life miserable. And I think at one point they showed up the graphic midway through the third, fourth quarter, whatever it was. Penn State had all of one yard until their final drive. So it was just amazing to see that defense ramp it up. So got a little bit of taste of what Ohio State's going to respond when they feel threatened or feel challenged. I think that got to their pride a little bit, that 14 points that they gave up. And they came out and they made amends for it. Can't put the second TD on them all on them because, you know, it was a fumble. Penn State worked with the short field, but they probably were still mad they gave up that long, was it 5-6 minute drive or however long it was, that resulted in the first touchdown. And you could tell, yeah, they came out of that second and into the third quarter with a renewed sense of edginess to them because they shut down Penn State for pretty much the rest of the game. So for all those wondering how Ohio State would respond when they felt somewhat threatened, Penn State poked the bear, and the bear poked back angrily. 38-14, and it wasn't. They probably could have put up more. Yeah, we got a taste of what Ohio State can do when they want to put their foot on the gas, as Joe Klatt has said. We haven't seen them really have to do that yet. We got a glimpse of it in that third quarter, what Ohio State can do when they put their foot on the gas pedal. But again, all in all, great game. 38-14. They did what they needed to do, covered the spread again. It was a 20-point spread anyway. They covered the spread, and they looked good in doing it. The defense looked good in that second half. Caleb, did he get away with one, y'all? Did Caleb get away with one? I don't. This is my take on it, because some of the OSU fans think he got away with one. Anytime targeting gets caught, always go back. I don't care how long it goes. I always go back to Georgia, Ohio State, Marvin Harrison. If that's not targeting, then damn it, what Caleb Downs did was not targeting. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't care if he got away with one. But they actually explained it. And the way the guy explained it, he said he could see it going either way, but the Big Ten is trying to change the way that's officiated, which I agree with the Big Ten's way of looking at that, because he turned a little bit. He turned. It wasn't head on. And I think he did get him in the chest area, but that's just me. What do y'all think? Did Caleb get away with one? He got that interception. So hey, it all. I guess what they say, the ball don't lie. I guess it wasn't targeted because he turned around and got an interception afterwards. But Ohio State takes care of business against Penn State. Was not the matchup we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the season, but nevertheless, Ohio State did what they needed to do against this type of opponent, which, again, all teams can't say. People want to keep knocking Ohio State and their schedule, but Ohio State, well, I ain't a big Pat McAfee fan, but he did say something that was, because he worded it so well. He said, not all the teams Ohio State has played has been excellent, but Ohio State has been excellent against every team they've played. Something like that. If y'all saw the morning broadcast, y'all know what phrase I'm talking about. I thought that was a good phrase. Whatever thing he has said that on, but I agree. They've looked excellent pretty much against every contest, and not every team, maybe save Indiana, can say that. Texas A&M, all the undefeated teams could probably say that. I don't know. But Ohio State looked good against Penn State, which is important because CFP rankings are coming out, I think, next week. It's going to be interesting where they pick Ohio State. But what's good about this week, not a lot of upsets, but other games of note that's going to affect the rankings potentially. Texas, all you got to keep our eye on Texas because that's Ohio State to this point. That's Ohio State's lone ranked win to this point is over Texas. So a Texas win is a Ohio State win. There's no other way to put it because they've been trying to downplay Ohio State's win over Texas since Ohio State beat them. Well, now Texas got wins over Oklahoma and now Vanderbilt, who was everybody's darling. Texas beat them handily, I might add. Diego. Remember I said they tried to bring up people in the Heisman conversation. They brought up Diego, and what did Diego go out his very next game and lose? Even though he made a valiant effort in the comeback, but he lost. Texas. A win by Texas is a win for Ohio State, which should bode well in the first iteration of the CFP rankings. And on the rankings, wasn't that one time Miami was a lock to be in the 12-team playoff field? Are they still a lock? Because Miami, they got Carson Beck again. Go down to SMU in overtime. Miami has the ball, first possession in overtime, and Carson Beck throws an interception. SMU follows up on their possession, they get the touchdown. Down goes Miami. Are they going to even be in the 12-team thing when the first rankings come out? I don't think so. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. I mean, it's not like the people like the ACC anyway. Remember Florida State a few years ago? I'm just saying, there's a good chance Miami not even be ranked. The lone team in the ACC, what, Georgia Tech now? If Georgia Tech lose, only the ACC champ gonna get in. That's just what it might be looking like. That's what it might be looking like. But not a lot going on this week in the college world. Just a few upsets. Again, Texas beating Vandy, always a good win. I said Texas win is a win for Ohio State, and then Miami get knocked off again. Coming out the bye week, some things to work on. Again, the running games is going to be a work in progress still. The offensive line, Padilla, they got to shore up that the right guard spot. Let them two battle it out, and hopefully that will improve for the remainder stretch of this season. But other than that, Ohio State look good. Good. They're going to at least be 1 or 2 in the rankings. A lot of folks are picking Indiana to be the top team when the rankings first come out, which is fine. I mean, if things go as planned, those two are going to be playing in the Big Ten championship game anyway, so the matter will be settled on the field. So we will see. But with that said, next up, Purdue. Don't laugh. Urban Meyer's had his issues with Purdue. Anyway, till next time, OHIO, go Bucks, I'm out.